Hello everyone, I'm Jatin Bharadwaj, and as you can see, we have just started with the latest developments on the Indian economy through this new project and new product from PMF IAS. I, Jatin Bharadwaj, will be starting with the economy today, and I will be covering all the important current affairs which are exam oriented only. Random current affairs would be avoided in this discussion. So today I'll be starting with this project, and soon every possible day you will get an important current affair from a respective subjects in the UPSC examination. We have planned this project or this current affair program for you, and this will be conducted 5 days a week, covering economy, polity, environment, disaster management, science and technology, international relations. All these subjects will be covered by respective teachers at PMF IAS. And before we start this program, as you know that PMF has started with the foundation course of its own. Here all the faculties are available for you to cover the UPSC syllabus in the most comprehensive and detailed version. So I will be there. The polity will be taken by Mr. Naved. Science and technology environment will be taken by Akshayvrat sir. Sumitro will take geography, and Vishwajit sir will take your history. Other subjects will also follow soon. So if you are looking for a most comprehensive discussion for your GS, a complete course at a very affordable price, please join us on the website. The link for this is given in the description. And if you are interested in respective individual courses, so that is also an option for you. So for instance, I'll be taking the Indian economy section for UPSC, both prelims and mains. So you can join individual courses as well. My course will be starting from 2nd of August. As you can see, the date is mentioned over here. For more inquiries and all the details, as you can see on the screen, the details are given over here. If you need more information, you can contact me personally. My number is given on the link which is mentioned in the description box, as well as you can contact this number for further details. Let's start. So if you want more understanding on what I am going to take or what this orientation course is, so I have already conducted a session on 9th of June. This is available on YouTube in the channel that you are watching this right now. So go to this orientation session, and if you want to see how I am teaching, a separate classes are being scheduled on the YouTube. You can go through that as well. So let's start with the current affair. So this first class for current affairs, we will be discussing 3 important articles that we have taken from the past week. From the next week onwards, I'll be taking economy on every Monday. As this project has just started, so we are covering up the last 6 days and the important current affairs from there. Today I'll be taking 3 of them, and this is the one. So the first current affair that we'll be starting with is with respect to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, IBC. Now, insolvency and bankruptcy, what is that? How it functions? What is IBBI? What is Insolvency Bankruptcy Code? What's the difference between Insolvency Bankruptcy Code and the previous SARFAESI? Is IBC working properly? What are the issues? Every possible dimensions is going to be discussed today in this particular class. So the current affair says that IBC has strengthened debt recovery and credit discipline in India. That is what this article has said. The article was published in the Hindu newspaper. But judicial delays and legal uncertainties still challenges effectiveness. See, IBC is very important provision. Whenever a company fails, they owe a lot to the financial sector. They owe to the creditors, they owe to the banks, they owe to the stock market, they owe to every bit person from where they have actually taken the money. So when a company fail to repay their dues, how it is being recovered? Through DRT, through other channels, everything will be discussed today. So let's start with this discussion. Insolvency. Insolvency is a financial status of a person or a company where they are unable to pay loans. Let's say a person or a company has taken a loan for 100 crore rupees. And now, because of the losses, market conditions, or whatever may be the reason, they are unable to repay their dues. So how a company or a bank which has paid for that is going to recover that? Will the owner of the company run away and go to a platform and give a podcast? For those kind of issues, government has intervened with bringing IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. See, code basically, guys, it means that you can say a composite law. Multiple laws are there, we combine them into one, create a composite law, that is known as code. So insolvency is something which is a declaration, right? Sorry, insolvency is a status that a person says, I don't have money to pay. It is a self-declaration. It is not identified. It is not declared by other entity. It is not declared by the person or the organization which pays the loan. On the other hand, bankruptcy is the declaration and it is legal. Now, if it is declared by the second party. This is the party which has taken the loan. This is the other party, right? About the person or a company, about their inability to pay loans. In this, Mr. X, Mr. A, or any person says that I don't have money to pay. Here, the one who has given the loan, let's say a bank or an entity or any other organization, will say, yes, Mr. A is unable to pay the loan. So this is insolvency and this is bankruptcy. Now, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, that is IBBI, you have a law. IBC is a code. All the rules and regulations are mentioned there. But you need an organization to work for this law. For example, we have, let's say, penal code. We have criminal procedure code. But you have judiciary to do that. You have capital market related laws. You have money market related laws. So we have SEBI and RBI for that. In the similar fashion, for Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, we have IBBI. So IBBI proposed that submission and approval of the resolution plan for a corporate debtor under IBC does not automatically release guarantor from their liability to repay. Now what I have done is that I have combined the last two important current affairs. The first one is that there is a declaration that legal issues are there in the IBC. The second current affair, which is just a few days back, that IBBI has said that corporate debtor cannot get immunity automatically, right? So their liability does not reduces. So let's now understand, given what IBC is, let's understand what is the difference between IBC and what was the case before. Now let's start. Before IBC came into the existence, before this code came into the existence, we have SARFAESI. SARFAESI stands for Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest Act 2002. This law was working for the same process, identifying the insolvent and creating the bankruptcy procedures. Now the problem was that this was largely with respect to the financial assets, financial liability, not operational liability. Now what they have done in IBC, that they have changed these things. So let's understand that. The main objective of IBC is to revive the borrowers and capacity building to recover loan. Whatever a person is there, IBC try to recover that, revive that person. Why to shut down a company? Let's allow that company to work properly. Let's revive the company again. We should try to do that. On the other hand, it was only to recover the bad loans. Just recover the loan. Even if the company dies, let it die. If the company shut down, let it shut down. But here it is for revival. Second, who can recover a loan? The one who has given the loan. Here it was same, here it is same. Commercial banks, cooperative banks, non-banking finance corporation, other bond holders. So all these entities who have given the loan, in both the cases can recover their loan. Operations credit included, yes, including supplier, employees, service provider. Everyone is included. But let's say their company has shut down and employees will say, the company has not paid me the salary for the last 6 months. Or let's say the company has purchased some furniture and they have not cleared the dues. The furniture wala, the shopkeeper, where will he get all the money? So everyone is included. Here they were not included. So if the company is gone, their salary is gone, their payment is gone, everything is gone. Is home buyers included? Yes, no. So now home buyers cannot be cheated by a company or a project real estate developer. Oh, our project has declined, our project has closed down, we don't have money, we can't repay you the you can say advance payments. Minimum 1000, 1000 rupees is the minimum amount for which the case can be filed. Here not included limits. Agriculture loan not covered, not covered. Because guys, agriculture loans have different criteria altogether. Agriculture loan is not for like 30 days or 15 days. It is for a season. Some crops actually extend beyond a season, like sugarcane. So their criteria for loans are different. So they have a different procedure altogether. Is unsecured creditors included? Yes. Now secured, unsecured basically means, is there something at stake? Is there something at stake? If there is nothing at stake, it is unsecured. So they are included. Yes, they are also included. Over there, it was not. Right? Only up to 1 lakh. Is REITs and InvITs are included, which is real estates and investment trust. Are they included? Not included. Since 2001, entities are considered to be the borrowers. So just to simplify the things and create a parallel development, they have been removed from this entity. Now this entire table, now the one which is on the greener side, this green shaded portion is not required for you. I have just given you the understanding from both the sides. But this is what you need to know, because this is the present status. Who is included, what is the limit, who pays a loan, who recovers the loan, all the parties and everything. With this, let's understand how IBC actually works. Coverage. Who is covered under IBC? Let's see. Individuals, you and me, we are covered, right? 1000 was the limit. Companies, any company, small company, large company, very large company, right? $billion company. MSMEs, non-banking finance corporation, partnership firms, LLPs, right? Housing finance companies and whatnot. Right? Individual, basically proprietors. Secured stressed banks. If a bank is under stress, it is not covered. Other rules actually work for them. RBI is responsible. NBFC and housings are covered. Creditor types, both financial and operational. Now what is this? Financial creditor means the one who has given money to the bank. Operational creditor means the one who is giving support to the operations. Both are covered. Management, operations. Authority. If it is against an individual or a partnership firms, the case will go to DRT. You need an organization where the case will go. It is DRT. If it is against the adjudicating, right? It's that if it is against case of companies, NBFC, housing finance, LLPs, MSMEs, where it will go? It will go to NCLAT, right? Or NCLT, National Companies Law Tribunal. So individuals, smaller ones, this partnership firms, small entities, small DRT, they will look into it, but the number is very high. On the other hand, NCLT will look for the larger case, 1000 crore, 5000 crore, large companies, their recovery, insolvencies, their bankruptcy, their revival. Who can start insolvency? Anyone. Financial creditor, the one who has given the loan, like banks. Operational creditors, one who has created operations, or any debtor, anyone who has given money. Anyone. Let's say an individual or investment banker. He's an individual. He has given loan to a company. He can also. Committee of creditor. Whenever a new case comes, there will be a committee. By claiming something should also be verified. This claim should be verified. Who will verify the claim? Who will look into the distressed company? Who will check their accounts that they are running in loss? There will be a committee of creditor. Creditor are the ones who have given the money. So they will be part of this committee. Time frame 180 days extended to 330 days, but 180 is the minimum criteria. That is 6 months. On an average 6 months, the case should be resolved. How a plan is approved? 2/3 of the committee members should agree. If these committee members agree, what they can agree on? Shut down the company, revive the company, reliquidate the company, providing more liquid or more loans to the company to revive, changing the management, could be anything. IBC is enforced by Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So whatever the decision is being taken, who enforces that? Who gives the order? IBBI. So this is the entire framework, this is the entire setup of IBBI and IBC. Now comes the real point, which was highlighted in this current affair article. The highlight was shift in borrowers' behavior. How? Promotes significance. This is why do we need IBC? Then I will come to the challenges. So why do we need IBC? Promotes, right? Promoters now avoid defaults to prevent insolvency and preserving control and reputation. Obviously. If any individuals can go, any person who has given a loan to a company, let's say a person has given 10 lakh rupee loan to a partnership firm, only 10 lakh. And the company or the partnership firm is declaring itself to be insolvent itself, that is self-declaration. In that case, that person who has been the debtor or the person who has been the creditor can approach, and that's why the company, that partnership firm will avoid that insolvency because they want to work for their reputation. It improved the credit discipline. That is the reason why the companies have avoided to easily fall in the trap of debt. NPAs have improved. This is the latest data. Better cooperation. According to the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, there was a study which was conducted which says that firms shows more independent directors. Basically, the fear of IBC has created better opportunities across the country. And the last one, lower cost of credit, clean balance sheets. Clean. So IBC is like a class monitor, a person who ensured discipline in a group. So that's why clean balance sheets, restructuring post IBC reduced lenders' risk. Lending to a 3% average drop in the borrowing cost. So basically all these points proved that it has become more efficient. Lending, running a company and lending process by a bank, they have become more and more efficient in this regard. Challenges, which was highlighted in this article. Delayed resolution. I mean, it is taking around, but right, often delayed due to inefficient judicial capacity, which was actually given in the article, Hindu newspaper. Inefficient judicial capacity. The judges, where the court goes, DRT, right, NCLT, even they are not efficient. Time limit was given 180 days. They are going below or beyond 270 days. Right? Which is 78% of the cases, which is very high. It's a matter of concern. A purpose was to wind up the entire insolvency and bankruptcy issue within 6 months, but it is taking 9 months. 9 months, 10 months and beyond that. Post resolution legal uncertainty. Even after the resolution, right? Stakeholders are initiated legal challenges. Sometimes the money is not being paid completely. Sometimes there are non-adherence to the orders, multiple delays, appeal after appeal, dates after dates. It goes on and on. Framework gap in emerging business models. IBC lack in provision to handle complexities in the new age firms. What about a firm or a startup has taken some money? Because now individuals, creditors are also included. So what if a startup has failed? In that case, tech-driven enterprise, startups, where will they go? The people who has given loan, the individuals who have given loan to these kind of organizations, where will they go? That's the biggest challenge. And lastly, the latest development, technology, right? Unresolved framework. For example, license, data. Let me give you one example. If there is a IT company, right? The IT company collected the data. Your Ola, Uber, Zomato, they have collected a lot of data. They have your movement data. They have your location data. They have your behavioral data. They have your address, phone number, email ID. They have all your data. All the data is available to them. If those companies shut down, what will happen to that data? Will that data be destroyed? Will that data be transferred to the next company which has purchased the existing company or has actually took over the existing company? What will happen to that data? All these questions are still unresolved. And that was highlighted in this article and this news. Now with this discussion, I am leaving you with this 2 practice questions for your prelims. You can pause the video right now. You can go through this question, right? And you can pause again to go through this particular question and you can solve this. And don't forget to answer that in the comment box, that what is the correct answer to both these questions. Let's start with the second article for the day. Now this second article is with respect to the foreign direct investment. Now it says, the article says, it is from the business standard we have taken, lower net FDI due to repatriation signals mature markets, says RBI governor. Now RBI governor has said that repatriation means going outside is the reason for the falling net FDI. Now what is net FDI? That is the more important objective. FDI, I am 100% sure yet you have already studied about FDI a lot. Today I am going to give you the highlights as well about this, but we will look more towards the recent changes. FDI. Now just look at this question. 2020, a question on prelims on FDI. This is the question. Same here, 2021, there's a question on again FDI. So UPSC's favorite, one of the favorite topic is foreign direct investment, which is part of the external sector in UPSC. So given these questions and given the highlight and the depth of these questions, let's understand what is FDI and what is net FDI. Now RBI data on FDI flow. This was actually published in the newspapers and it has been in news for many reasons. Total FDI stood at 81 billion, which is good, right? 36 billion compared to the last, 12 years back, I would say 11 years back, a 14% increase in the year on year. So overall FDI shows increase, 14% increase, but there is a concern. In this case, service sector has the highest, followed by computer and technologies, computer and hardware, and trading. These are the sequence. So the highest FDI came in the service sector. It is followed by software, right? Software, hardware, computer, IT services, followed by your trading, financial tradings and others. So this is the pattern. Where does it goes to the highest? The highest FDIs goes to Maharashtra, right? Followed by Karnataka and Delhi. And you know the reason. Maharashtra has Mumbai, right? Mumbai includes the highest possible FDI. Karnataka, the Bengaluru city, and Delhi, of course, because of the Delhi NCR, Gurgaon and other IT hubs. The maximum FDI comes from Singapore, followed by Mauritius and United States, right? Then this is a positive note. Whatever we have seen, this is a kind of a repeated every year. There's nothing much change in that, only the numbers change. The real concern is this. Now look at this diagram. In this particular diagram, you will notice that in 2014 and in present case, there is not a quantum jump. In 2014, the gross inflow was 1.9%. It has reached to 2.1%. That's it. From 1.9 to 2.1, right? It's a share of the GDP. Net FDI 1.2 to, this is the problem. Look at this. It was 1.2. It went all the way as high as 1.6. 2020. After COVID, it has started declining. That is reached close to zero. So net FDI has reached close to zero. What is net FDI? Net FDI is total FDI, that is gross FDI, minus repatriation by foreign companies. Some money is going out by foreign companies, and outward FDI. Indian companies are also making FDI outside. Our oil companies, our port companies, our automobile companies, our telecommunication like Bharti Airtel, they are making investments in Africa, right? Our motors like Mahindra Motors, they are making investments in Africa. So money is going out also. Some foreign companies are also taking money outside. So what is going outside and what is coming in? If you add that, because going outside will be deducted, so that is known as net FDI. Now, net FDI is reaching zero. What does it mean? Net FDI reaching zero means whatever we received and whatever we paid, whatever went out and whatever came in is almost equal. So there is zero gain. What is coming in should have been more than what is going out. So this is the concern. Now let's understand this. Increase in gross FDI, which is good. There's no issue in that, right? India attracted $75 billion in the gross FDI. That's okay. That's completely okay, right? In the 3 quarters. Fall in net FDI, this is the major concern. And on this, UPSC can ask question in the coming or the next prelims examination, or in fact in the mains examination as well. The trend, the reasons for this, right? India's FDI dipped. I mean, look at this, right? From 10 billion to we are just not even half a billion. It is 400 million. From 10 billion to 400 million, this is the dip. This is decline. So this is a concern. Gross foreign inflow to GDP ratio is now close to 0. So gross foreign inflow to GDP ratio has gone close to 0. India's net outflow FDI, right, reached $29 billion, right, making a growth of more than 75. Now this is the concern, guys. Look at this table again. Outward FDI by Indian companies. This is outward FDI or OFI. OFDI or outward FDI. Now this has increased tremendously. That's why here it is 75% over the previous year. There's a 75% increase over the previous year. That's why it has increased to $29 billion. And this is, right, the locations where the money is going from India to out. Singapore, UAE, so US, UAE, Mauritius, Netherlands and others. Now surprisingly, these are the 2 countries, and this is this fourth. These 3 are the countries which are also sending money to India. So it's a give and take relationship. The top 4 over here are top 3 in the inflows. That's why that's a concern. So those who have brought money to India are also taking money from India. It's not that the USA and Singapore invested and let's say England has taken back or China has taken back or Japan has taken back. No, these are the countries which are also, right, accounted for outward FDI. Now it is a trend, guys. It does not show that the India's economy or India's GDP is on the decline. Does not. It is mostly based on the sentiments, the current sentiments which is there. So we should not be much concerned about that. Let the entire data come up, let the full data be there, and let's wait for 1 or 2 more years to get the clear picture. If the trend continues, then it would be a matter of concern. But it is just at a point of time. It is just a stock data, and that is what we have right now. So given this understanding, this is what FDI is. So let's take this quickly. बहुत जल्दी से करते हैं. Let's do it quickly, right? This is just a revision, guys. Who is an investor under FDI? Any foreign entity. He should be an active investor. Now, what do you mean by active investor? Active investor is a one that is involved in the entity they have invested. So if a foreign company has invested in India, till they are working in India, they are completely interested. It's not like passive investor that, okay, he has given the money and he has invested the money and now he's sleeping. He does not even care about what is happening. He's an active. Type of entity, ownership or partnership. So a person can and a company can invest completely in India, 100% investment, or they can have a partnership with the existing company. For example, Flipkart has partnership with Walmart, right? This is the partnership. Jio has partnership with BP, British Petroleum. So this is what I meant by partnership. Operational area. FDI should come to India, not outside India, Indian territory. Equity. If it is a ownership, 100% holding. If it is in a partnership, government can decide that, or as per the agreement between the partners. And it is not, see, I have not written private or government. FDI can come to any sector, private sector, government sector. There are certain restrictions which we will discuss later on. Minimum and maximum holding, according to Arvind Mayaram committee, minimum holding is 10%. It can be less than 10%, but only if it is an unlisted company. If the company is not listed on the stock market, it can be less. First thing first. So it can be under 10%. At maximum 100%, because you cannot have holding more than 100%. So 10 to 100% is the ideal one. What investor gets when they invest go for investment comes for the FDI in India, they get transfer of capital. So this capital will transfer from, let's say, US to India, management and technology. So let's say there is a company which has invested 75% in an Indian company. US company has invested 75% in the Indian company. About the valuation, what do they get? Example, Walmart. So Walmart, what did they get? They got the majority stake. They got control over the capital, management and working and technology, right? After this, tools. How can somebody make investment in FDI? Through shares, convertible bonds, exchangeable bonds, right? Depository receipts from US to India, and debentures, corporate debentures. Then comes nature of investment, stable and long term. This is very important. It is not hot money. It is not hot money. What is hot money? Please comment in the chat box. What is hot money? Is it literally temperature which I am talking about? I am saying FDI is not hot money. It is more stable. A person or a company who invests in India through the FDI invest for a longer period of time. That's it. Let's say McDonald's comes to India. Now McDonald's, when it came to India, it came for many years, not for 2-3 days or for 2-3 months. McDonald's is in India for like more than 2.5 decades now. So that's the point. It is long term and it is stable. It's not that McDonald's will close all the door and shut down all the shops and they will just leave India. Easy exist? No. It's really hard to wind up the business. Routes. Government route and automatic route. Government route basically means approval route. Automatic is non-approval. Now government route is under Foreign Investment Facilitation Portal. So it's a website. If a person or a company wants to make an investment in India, they need to get approval from this particular portal. Approval for 5,000 crores and above. Any investment where 5,000 crores and above are involved, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is the entity which is responsible. Now, why this higher limit? This is to avoid illicit and predatory merger and acquisitions. Because there are large companies across the world, if they wish, they can come and they can destroy Indian market. They can take away smaller companies. So approval is required. Then comes restricted sectors. What are those sectors where FDI cannot come, is not allowed? Lottery, gambling, betting, chit funds, nidhi companies. Obviously, right? Limited to Indians only. Real estate business. Now please tell me, I have written real estate business. Then how come we have Trump Tower in India? Please comment that in the chat box. How do we have Trump Tower in India if FDI is not allowed? Construction of farmhouses in India, cigars, atomic energy, railway operations, which are completely under the state control. Atomic energy, atomic material, and railway operation is still completely under the state control. So FDI is not allowed. Who can receive FDI? Companies, partnership firms, venture capitalists, VCs, right? Which are popularly known among the startup culture. LLP, that is limited liability partnerships, and the, of course, startups. Another question which I would like to put to all our viewers: what do you think? Can a proprietor or an individual company, a one-person company or OPC, can it receive FDI? Yes or no? Please tell me in the chat box. Practice question for you guys. Please read this question thoroughly. You can pause the video, read it thoroughly, and answer in the chat box. Let's come to the last one. So the last article that we have today, which we have taken from the current affairs of this week, is this. It is with respect to the SEZ. SEZ is Special Economic Zone. It is an export-oriented enclaves created solely to promote exports in India. Solely to promote exports in India. However, the latest through the latest developments in the last 10 years from the current government, the orientation is shifting from export orientation to the economic growth and employment generation, which was actually highlighted by the Baba Kalyani committee as well. So approval has been granted. This is the current context. Approval has been granted to set up a 2 special economic facilities in Gujarat and Karnataka with a total investment of 13,000 crores. So it is like this. An industrial setup will be created, which is known as special economic zone. This territory is considered to be a foreign territory. Whatever they are producing and going out is considered to be an export. Even the outside and inside is India. Still, it is considered to be an export. Government has notified several changes to the regulation. Now, this is the article. Government relaxes sales rule. Government has notified regulations for semiconductor industries and electronic components. Now, all of you know that under PLI scheme, production and incentive scheme, Government of India is looking towards expanding the base of semiconductor and electronic manufacturing in India. iPhone is already, all of you know, because of the Trump's ruling, iPhone is already making headlines in the news that India is now producing one of the largest iPhones on this planet. Forget that, India is the second largest manufacturer of the mobile phones. India is also aspiring to become one of the largest, at least top 3 manufacturers of semiconductors and the chipsets. This is the reason why India will now have, government has relaxed the rules for semiconductor and electronic components to set up their units inside the seas. For this, they have brought 2 changes. For this, the 2 changes are small firms. I mean, let's say there's a small company. It requires a small area. So 10 hectares is enough. They don't need 50 hectares. I mean, even a single hectare is a very large for a single firm. So as small as 10 hectares will now be allowed to be created or called as a SAYS for the construction of electronic and semiconductors. Very good initiative, right? Let's start small. Government is thinking, let's start small, but let's start. Allow these semiconductor units to sell their product in domestic market. Now, biggest thing is, sir, if these units, if SAYS is created for only exports, then can they sell within India? Yes, they can sell within India, but they have to meet the import policies of India. They have to meet the requirement of duties, the taxes which they need to pay. Yes, it's something which is traveling within India from one territory to the other territory of India, but it is considered as an export, so they have to meet the foreign trade policy. So now smaller SAYS will be created for these units for semiconductor and electronics, and they will be allowed to sell in the domestic market. What is SAYS? Let's have basic understanding of what is SAYS. SAYS policy is announced in April 2000 by the previous NDA government under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. In 2006, it became a proper headline because of this Economic SAYS Act 2005 implemented in 2006. Now, between 2000 to 2006, it remained as a part of foreign trade policy. So it was a NDA government there then UPA government came and thought it's a very good scheme, so they provided a legal backing to this particular scheme. What and why? SAYS is offer a competitive infrastructure to any company. It provides a competitive infrastructure. A very high quality infrastructure is provided. Road, power, drainage system, water supply, everything is provided. Duty free exports. If they export outside India, duty free. They get tax incentives for some years, initial years, and other designated easy to conduct business. So if you want to export something, open your unit at SAYS. You get a lot of benefit. It is a duty free enclave considered as a territory outside the custom jurisdiction of India. It is considered outside India. It is physically present in India, but it is considered to be outside India, right? For exports. No import license necessary. Both manufacturing and services are allowed. There is IT SAYS. Now IT is information technology. It's a service sector. It is allowed in Gurugram. So Gurugram has IT sales. So manufacturing and services both are allowed. Domestic sale is allowed only if they pay the custom duty and they follow the import policy. So if they follow the import policy and pay the custom duty, it is allowed. Subcontracting is also allowed. That is, a large company can subcontract to the smaller one. Immunity from the routine inspection, Inspector Raj, avoided. And lastly, direct and indirect. So many tax soaps are being given to these kind of entities for the promotion of exports. Again, I am repeating, guys, the purpose of these enclaves was to promote exports, but it failed in comparison to China, Vietnam, and many other countries. The reason is that over there, the purpose of such export zones was employment generation and economic growth rather than exports. India, on the other hand, focused that exports should be promoted irrespective of employment generation or growth. So yes, no doubt, exports were promoted, but the amount of, or you can say number of employees that we were expecting, we could not achieve that. Present status. Total notified zones 368, right? Approved is 416. Approved, not yet notified. Total investment 7.7 lakh crore, which is very huge, right? Total employment 32 lakh people, 3.2 million people. Total area covered 42,000 hectares, that's huge. And total sales exports is 172 billion. This is the total export. Please calculate the percentage, right? Which is like closer to, I would say, which is closer to like 20% around, right? 22%. Now coming to this, recommendations, very important. So years back, Baba Kalyani committee, after reading across the sector of SAYS, they decided that there are too many problems that the SAYS faces. Like it is not generating the enough employment, it is not contributing much to the India's growth rate. They have compared India's SAYS with the economic zones of China, Vietnam, and many other countries, and then they have concluded that the functioning of the SAYS is not up to the mark. It needs revamp. It renamed SAYS at Economic and Employment Enclave. So the first thing is, SAYS should be renamed to what? Economic and Employment Enclaves. This gives us the actual meaning of SAYS, that it is for economic development and it is for employment generation rather than just exports. Pay incentives to SAYS based upon the multiple parameters such as value addition, adoption of technology, job creation, priority, industry, all those kind of things. I mean, do not use one size fits all approach. That's the point. Focus few numbers of large size instead of giving everyone as an export unit. Focus on coastal zones because it reduces the time. Let's say there is a SAYS in Haryana now and it is exporting, not from airlines but from ship. So taking something from Haryana to Gujarat or to Maharashtra to export, it will take a lot of time. Why not create a SAYS in Gujarat? That's why the new proposal is in Gujarat and Karnataka. Both are coastal states. Focus developing SAYS in manufacturing hubs such as industrial corridor. So industrial corridor, Indian industrial corridor and SAYS together. Multimodal connectivity, airplanes, that is, there should be an airport, there should be a line, a railway line, there should be an expressway, multimodal, right? There should be a warehousing and other related areas. Ease of doing business, how? Better infrastructure, finance access, enable long-term borrowing. There should be a very large banking unit nearby SAYS. Dispute resolution through arbitration and commercial courts. Early dispute resolution brings easy entry and exit and more confidence among the investors. If investors know that if they enter into a kind of a conflict, they will always be intermingled, or they will always be kind of busy in and around the SAYS, they will never come back. Plus they will restrict the future investors as well. So if an investor know, if they had the idea that entering into a SAYS and exiting from the SAYS is as easy as possible, they will come with a confidence. MSME participation should be increased. startups should be promoted, right? Startups should be promoted. And we can have a sector specific says, for example, space says. Space technologies is getting currency now. New firms are coming up. We can have a defense says, where companies will only produce defense goods for the exports. We can have all the things, however, they were not mentioned in Baba Kalyani report. So that's all guys for today. Today we have discussed, this is the first such initiative of PMF where we are bringing you the current affairs from various subjects for your UPSC prelims and mains examination. Today I, Jatin Bharadwaj, have taken initiative to start with the economic current affair. We have discussed all the important news articles which are relevant for your prelims and the mains examination in the most detailed format. If you have any query with respect to the prelim test series, so PMF has already started a dedicated prelim test series where you will get 100 test, 80 CSET test, sectional test, advanced test, current affair test, right, comprehensive test, and in fact comprehensive CSET test. 32 direct hits were there in the prelim examination from the PMF IAS, and they are absolutely verified on the website. You can go and check that out. For more updates, keep on watching PMF IAS, and all the links with respect to our latest courses and links for the individual courses of economy is given in the description box. I'll see you next week on Monday with the latest current affairs on economy. Thank you.